call to order the Board of Library Trustees for tonight's Memorial Library for Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. Roll call, please.
Trustee Gala? Here. Trustee Medal? Here.
I can't hear you guys. If you're waiting for me, I can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Let me see if let me mess with my volume. All right, say something.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yay. Okay, got it. Sorry. Yes, Andy Rule here.
Here. Trustee Samari? Here. Trustee Suplet?
Here.
President Zink?
Here. Okay, public comments. Any public comments? I see none. We will move on to Liaison Report. Friends.
Jennifer's here from the Friends.
So I can take the Brian, kind of 3 sections of things that I'm talking about. The first one is the book sales. I don't know what time it is anymore. So we made about $15,500, which is less than we've been making pre-pandemic, but still nothing to sneeze at. We really just wanted to thank the library staff, who was so helpful as we tried this new way of doing things out. So the graphics department for all of their help with the signage, bookmarks, etc. The new price signs that we're replacing ones that were I think 30 years old. So they look great. And then facilities for helping get everything set up. Programs, thank you for getting all of the sign-offs created. That was amazing. And then the call center for helping with tech support, answering questions about the sale and everything. So we just really appreciate the help. We approved a number of things. So we approved $16,900 for youth services, for outreach and reading programs, $10,000 for a sense of community grant, and $200 for giveaways on books. And then the last thing is we have some upcoming sale dates. So we have a holiday sale December 4th and 5th. So that will be for the gift quality items. A children's book sale February 11th through the 13th. And then our regular sales, or our big sales as we call them, April 22nd through the 24th, August 5th through the 7th, and November 4th.
Thanks, Jennifer. Thank you very much. Okay, Foundation.
Okay, just a couple things from the foundation. Lori was not able to be in attendance tonight, but she said her scholarship task force is continuing and has connected with the Harper College Foundation to network with their program. Their annual appeal went out last month, and they're beginning to see results both from the website as well as checks in the mail. And their director of marketing had their first story with photo in the daily, in the online Daily Herald last week. And they're celebrating with their board advisory team and scholarship task force members and spouses at a holiday gathering early next month. That's all.
Great. Moving on. All right, let's go to action item 1, which is approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of October 19th, 2021. Good motion for approval.
I make a motion to approve the board meetings from October 19th, 2021.
Second.
Any comments, questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay, that passes. Move on to action item 2, approval of the minutes of the joint meeting of the Untitled Park District Board of Commissioners and the Board of Library Trustees on October 23rd, 2021. Do we have a motion for approval for that?
I move approval of the minutes from the joint meeting of the Arlington Heights Park District Commissioners and the Board of Library Trustees for October 23rd, 2021.
Okay, do we have any comments, questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those nay, that passes. Move on to action item 3, approval of the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting of November 1st, 2021. So moved. You have a second.
I second.
Okay, any comments, questions on that one? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those nay, that one passes. All right, move on to item 4, review the financial report for the period ended October 31st, 2021.
Okay, on the revenue side, real estate tax revenue totaled $3,723,031.77 for the month of October. We received $50,023.14 in PPRT funding in October. Our copier printer revenue totaled $3,201.16. Collection fees for late items was $50. Lost item charges totaled $1,256.72. October interest was $119.07 in our operating budget. We did not collect interest income on our capital budget, our capital side in October. Donations totaled $313.17. The Friends or the Foundation neither had reimbursements for this month. Revenue collected for the vehicle stickers totaled $261, and the total revenue collected in October was $3,786,202.39. On the expense side, we are 83% of the way through the fiscal year, and we have expensed 71% of our total operating budget. The favorable variance to date is $1,834,359. Our Makerspace construction is almost complete. There's just a few punch list items that we're waiting on parts for from our electrician. So everything is pretty much complete over there. We're just still waiting for a couple. Once those are done, then we'll send out those checks. We just are keeping retainage on a couple things. The total expense to date in 2021 is $987,769, and we are projected to be under budget on the project. 93% of the total annual capital budget has been expensed, and it's 93% this month because of the amendment that we had done previously, removing that $1 million for the Miller picking unit. So that is where we're at with revenue and expenses. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Questions, comments? Trustees? Okay. Let's move on then to action item 5, review the check register for the period ended October 31st, 2021.
Okay, I have a couple of checks to highlight. I didn't receive any questions. On page 1, check 82502 to Bamboo HR in the amount of $8,907.20. That is a prepaid for 2022. That is for, I think, 11 months of our Bamboo HR software, which is our HR software for the library. 1 month falls in 2021, which, so everything else will be billed to 2022. And that the prepaids are listed in the check register first. Those are checks that go out for next year's budget. And so they're being, you'll see the check go out this year, but they actually show up next year in the budget. On that same page, check 82528 to Garvey's Office Products in the amount of $7,635.86. That's for furniture replacement. It's for 22 staff chairs. So we're kind of on a replacement cycle of older chairs. Our chairs are between, well, some of the chairs that we're replacing are between 15 and 20 years old. So they're time to be replaced. And we're starting to have issues with them. On page 5, check 82519 to Divine Signs and Graphics in the amount of $1,290. That is for the repair of the parking lot sign out near the entrance. We had a car back into it, and so we're repairing that. On page 10, 2 checks, 82531 and 82530 to Grace Gowdy in the amount of $1,600 each. That is for Makerspace kitchen culinary classes. So it was 4 sessions or 8 classes. Thanksgiving sides was 2 classes, and then fall pies was 2 classes. Charcuterie was 2 classes, and brunch was 2 classes. So our culinary classes are limited to 1 class per month for Arlington Heights Carpool.
Do those sell out like in a second?
Yes,
7
so we
days.
actually added classes because
Yeah.
there was such a demand for them.
When they have one for chocolate chip cookies, I can get somebody to please tell me.
I will. Then let's see, page 22, check 82575 for overdrive, that in the amount of $18,500. That's for our overdrive application, license, hosting, and content credit. And then page 23, checks 82583 and 82584 to Rockford Carpetland USA in the amount of $15,558.15 and $4,638.56. Those are for flooring at the Makerspace. That is the remaining balance and retainage for that project. There was a check last month that was voided. Remember we talked about that? These are the replacement checks for that in the correct amounts. We actually They billed us for some money that was supposed to go to the foundation, or a bill that was supposed to go to the foundation.
Going back to the top, could you tell us about the food truck?
The what?
Food truck?
The food trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had, as part of our staff program, this year, we've done it virtual, and we've tried to intersperse things throughout the year to bring staff together and to kind of simulate what we would have when we had our staff day all together. The food truck was a lunch that we had provided to the staff. It was empanadas. It was very popular. Good question.
Thank you.
Any more questions, trustees?
I'll move that we accept the accounts payable check register for the Arlington Heights Memorial Library of October 31st, 2021, in the amount of $792,181.58.
Second.
Any comments, questions? More? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Gala? Yes. Trustee Meadows?
Yes.
Trustee Rule?
Yes.
Trustee Smart?
Yes.
Trustee Simonelli?
Yes.
Trustee Southwick?
Aye.
President Zip?
Yes. All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to the executive director's report.
Okay, I'll highlight a few things from the director's report. On the first page, our accessibility support collection went launched on October 26th. So on Tuesday, October 26th, we debuted our new accessibility support collection after many years of planning and development in a collaboration between youth services and collections services group. The collection was made possible by a generous donation from City of Support, Children in Therapy and Youth. We welcomed a group of community supporters, staff, and board members from both the library and City of Support to launch the collection. The collection features over 350 items, including books for kids and adults, toys designed to support motor, social, cognitive, visual, and auditory skill development, therapeutic and adaptive technology tools, and more. The collection provides an opportunity for families and therapists to try out specialized items before purchasing them, while also accessing support and specialized resources and information. Just 3 days after the introduction of the collection, 13% of the newly developed collection was checked out. So this is a really unique collection and probably one of the few in Illinois or the country of this size and specialty. So Trixie and her staff put that together. So thank you, Trixie. It was a great collection. On page 3, the fairy tale fling, to kick off the 4th annual Inclusion Awareness Month, October. The library partnered with Northwest Special Recreation Association to host the fairy tale fling, featuring a DJ and dancing, games, and a photo booth. 28 adults with disabilities attended the event, where they danced, enjoyed fairy tale themed games and crafts, voted in a best dressed contest, and took home a photo booth pizza.
That is awesome. I mean, that's really impressive. And I went to the, and Sarah and I both went to the opening of the accessibility support, and it was really great. People that were there obviously are so passionate about it, and I mean, what a needed thing for the community. So good job working so hard to get the, you know, to do the partnership too. It sounds like it's not always easy to get that money, and so.
Right, that was a long time coming. We've been talking with them for about 3 years, and you know, it took them time to get the money to be able to sponsor it. So it's a great partnership. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but I did want to point out the Chicago Lighthouse Low Vision Roadshow. Mary Jo and Katie will talk more about this, but they did have 90 people attend the Low Vision Products Roadshow during the open house all day event. And the staff from the Lighthouse were impressed by the attendance, saying this was the highest attendance they've ever had at a roadshow. So it's really cool. Then on the next page, page 5, One Book, One Village, an evening with Robin Wall Kimmerer. On Thursday, October 21st, the OBOB team and programs and exhibit staff collaborated to present the 8th annual One Book, One Village author event, an evening with Robin Wall Kimmerer. A huge thank you to the community for making this the highest attended OBOB author event to date, with 626 in attendance. Additionally, interest in the author event continues after its live run, with YouTube video being viewed over 500 times. And I just want to note a little bit lower in the page there, from the post-event survey, 75% of the attendees indicated this was their first OBOB author event. So we certainly hit a little bit different demographic there, and we're able to pull in a lot of new voices and faces.
That's really interesting. That surprises me a little bit. Yeah, but I think once you start, going to I think you're hooked. And the fact that 500 people that probably had a conflict that night or whatever, didn't finish the book, took the time to go and watch it on YouTube, that's a lot. That's not just, I mean, they really made an effort because they were interested. So that's awesome.
So huge success.
It was good. You know, I came to the presentation
Did you?
that we had up here. You know, you can see, there's some empty chairs there and everything, but everybody that was there was really engaged and they were really into it and everything. So it was nice having that. I don't remember if we did that last year. I don't think so.
No,
I think we could
not
last
sure
year.
if we had done it.
Yeah, we couldn't do it last year. So that was a nice little way.
We
of
getting
doing it.
feedback from her? Was she happy?
Jennifer, do you know if we should be there?
Yeah, they were very happy with the event. She was also doing another Chicago area event that same weekend, so she really kind of zoned into the fact that she was doing this suburban event and then
Okay.
in the city.
Cool. Well, and he was a phenomenal interviewer too. He obviously knew. So, I mean, they're always good, but I don't know. He really knew a lot about the subject matter.
Okay, then the last thing I want to highlight is on page 11, the Makerspace Program. So after offering daily tours in September, the program's officially kicks off in October at the Makerspace. Makerspace specialist Stacy Kraft and Kit Henry led customers through a series of Makerspace Essentials beginner programs. This series covered the basics of 3D printing, laser cutting, sewing, and vinyl cutting. Overall, 15 programs were offered at the Makerspace with 143 attendees. So a lot of excitement over there for the programs that were started. That is all I have for the executive director's report. I'd be happy to answer any questions about that before we move on to the next portion. Okay, all right, then our focus for this month is our senior and accessible services, and I'd like to invite Mary Jo Driscoll and Katie Meyer to come up and talk to us about senior and accessible services. And you will have in your packet, you have the summary. They're going to speak to some things that are not included in this. Go, take it away.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Jo Lebo. I'm the Senior and Accessible Services Manager, and this is Katie Myers, our Senior and Accessible Services Supervisor. And we're really excited to have you invite us to be here and talk a little bit about the things that we do for the library. And actually, this is a return appearance for us. We've come most years, but in the previous years, we've talked exclusively, I think, about Inclusion Awareness Month. And it's nice to be able to meet the new trustees and present to some of the folks that haven't seen us before. If you had a chance to read the report, I'm not going to cover a lot of the things that I already talked about in here, but you can see that we really cover a variety of territories in senior and accessible services, although we're kind of most associated with managing the senior center branch. That's a component of what we do. And we wanted to spend a little time today sharing some of the other things in a little more detail. But before I turn away from the senior center, I just wanted to share a couple of pieces of information that maybe weren't in there. I did include some charts looking at the senior center circulation and the library visits that we've had at the senior center. And as well as if we did the same for programs, we would kind of see about the same thing, that we're at about 50% of where we were pre-pandemic. We're really excited, some kind of touch points. The senior center reopened for in-person programming in July. So we did start immediately offering some of our programs in person and have really transitioned to all of the senior center programs being in person over the summer. So we're doing our top classes and our programs in person. We're not seeing quite the same levels of attendance in some of the programs, but in many we are. So our recent book discussion and film discussion had about the same number of people that we had pre-pandemic. So we're really excited to see that. The senior center did not fully open for all hours until September. So we're encouraged by the fact that we saw a big bump in September. There was a lot of publicity about the opening, and we're hoping pretty soon to be back closer to. We've had a lot of interest and attendance in our tech classes. So people are really excited to get back in person. And then the other thing that I wanted to touch on in addition to any questions that you might have, was just Trustee Smart brought this up before the meeting started, that the village is conducting a study on space utilization and modernization for the senior center. And I can say that, you know, having been involved with the senior center for my entire career at AHML, I'm really happy to see that. It's something that is needed to really appeal to the current incoming older adults, and some of the things that they're looking at are, you know, not just the space utilization, but potentially even a name change. So I think that would be a boost to the attendance that we get there. The study is right now in phase 3. So we have had an opportunity, Mike and I, to have input with the consultants that they hired. So all of the agencies that are at the senior center had interviews with the consultants. It started out and they have done community surveys, some stakeholder interviews, focus groups. They're now in a phase of kind of accumulating that and coming back with alternatives that they will present to the village board. We expect to be getting another look at what they're planning to propose, a couple of different alternatives before it does go to the village board. So that's my understanding from the information that I'm getting. I don't know if anybody has questions about that. I've kind of covered as much as I really know, but I'll be sharing more as we get more information.
Can I ask, I should know
Sure.
this and I don't. This is, how old, like, do you have to be, or like, what is considered the right age to go to
Well,
the senior center?
As I tell everyone, nobody really checks IDs, and but the majority, so we do actually, just for our own space utilization, we have a lot of residents that live, you know, in that area in the south
Surrey
side.
Ridge,
That-
Heritage Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mallard Cove.
Yeah.
So they come, and we do get younger people that come in for whole pickups and to just browse the collection. But the majority of programs by all of the agencies there are focused at like 50 or 55 and up. There's some social services that Catholic Charities provides that are for 65 and up. But for the most part, it is like a 50 to 55 and up focus in terms of the programming that gets done. And our focus in the programming that we do is to do a really heavy focus on interactive programming where people are able to gather with others that have similar interests and be able to really form relationships and have the social interaction in addition to the learning piece that we're hoping to provide as part of the programming. So,
Thank
and
you.
you're
Yeah.
welcome. And you're all welcome to come and visit us one day and see what it's like in person. And Katie's going to talk. I want to kind of, if nobody has more questions about the senior center, I want to take a little bit of time to talk about something that everybody knows we do, but maybe not quite the way that we do it, which is our library delivery services. We think we have a pretty unique way of providing that service to our customers. And Mike actually recently spent a little time with us and observed a little bit about how we do that. And I'm going to kind of hand this out. Katie is the person who coordinates that program in our department, and she is going to talk a little bit about it.
So our library delivery services are, yes, we're making deliveries out into the community, but the deliveries are actually a very small piece of the work that goes into getting deliveries ready for all of our residents to participate. So if someone's interested in participating in the library delivery service, they can learn about it a number of ways. We have partnerships with senior living communities here, and so staff might tell somebody about it when they move in. We have access on our website to information about the service. Oftentimes it's circulation or info services. They might identify that the resident might need some assistance with deliveries to their homes. So that's how people learn about us. Once they learn about us, we do spend time learning about what their preferences are, so they can receive all of the different types of materials that they might want, and as many as they might want in a given month. And we make one delivery to each customer who participates every month. We go out on the first 4 Mondays of the month. And in preparation for that, our staff make the selections for all of the people who are participating. So we're prepping around 700 items a month that go out in deliveries to around 70 customers. What you have here is feedback forms. So we have a database, we have an access database where we maintain the preferences of all of the people who participate. And then we have these lists that go out to them. We put all of the information in the system for the materials that they're receiving, and they get these packing slips, and then they can fill out the packing slips and they return them to us in their delivery the following month. So we're always in communication with those who are participating. And you can read from some of the feedback. We get all kinds of detailed information about what they like or don't like. We are reading these feedback forms every month and then also contacting the customer. So we do spend a lot of time, with each customer every month.
That's really one of the ways that we're able to kind of refine the service that we provide, is by having that feedback. And we find that a lot of customers kind of treat it like a pen pal type situation. We actually get customers who do their own requests because they can do a combination or make their own requests. They don't have to use the items that we select. But when they do that, they will often write kind of a little mini book review for us, telling us what they thought about even the book that they chose themselves.
So if someone uses the, hold pickup,
Yep.
you can bring them their holds or no?
Well, yes and no. They can go ahead and put their own holds in the system. And a lot of our customers that are in the program on a temporary basis will do that. So somebody that's had surgery or who's, it does not need to be a senior. It can be somebody of any age that is unable to come to the library for a medical reason or because they can't drive. And when they do that, they have an option of just placing their holds and then they all route to us once they're in the program. It isn't like every time a hold is available.
Right. Because you deliver once a month.
As we say, it's kind of not the pizza delivery system.
Right.
But we're putting holds on too. So, and there are some sort of internal ways that those are routed to our office appropriately. So that we can manage those and then get them out to the customers on their designated delivery day.
And you might have seen in like some of the kind of interesting facts that we included that we do have quite a few volunteers. So some of the volunteers do help with that program in terms of prepping the materials and sending them out. The selections are made by staff or by the customer themselves. So. And Kitty, did you want to talk about, we have it's kind of ancillary to the library delivery service. And this is again, a kind of a program that not everybody is familiar with. It's the Illinois Talking Book Program. And we serve as ambassadors for that. And that is something that we regularly provide service for customers, not just to get the machine, but to kind of keep them involved in the program, because a lot of the selections that are made for the customers when they sign up are computer generated, and they don't always get exactly what they're looking for. For our residents, we also provide reader advisory services to help them get selections that are really more attuned to what they need. And Kitty's gonna demo the machine. Have you all seen this before?
No.
I have not.
Okay, so this is a free service that anybody who's eligible, because they're unable to read standard printed materials, can subscribe to this. And we help get them enrolled in the program if they qualify.
From the Illinois State Library.
It's a national library service, but each state administers their individual program.
So we'll help people with their applications. In some cases, we can certify applications, and in some cases, depending on what one's disability is, their physician has to certify it, but we can help them with every other part of completing the application. And there is a reader's advisory component to it, so we can help with some guidance on authors and genres and things like that. And then once that application is submitted to the Illinois State Library, the state library will send out this machine. And this is what's called the digital talking book machine. You can see it looks kind of like an old tape deck. And then the machine is really unique in that all of the buttons tell one what they do when there's no book in the machine. So it's very useful for kind of learning and training on how to use the machine. And all of the buttons have different shapes. And
Player on. Press any button to learn about its function. Power. Battery charge remaining greater than 29 hours. Battery powered. Press this power button to turn the player off. Press the power button again to turn the player back on. If the player is running on play, stop. To start or stop playing a book, use the large.
so you can see, you can press the buttons, it tells you what it does. It's chargeable, so one can plug it into the wall and then they can move it around their home. And then the books come in the mail, US Postal Service. It's prepaid. The labeling is all done so that one side of the label has your address on it and the other side is the return label to the library. Again, it's very tactile. When you open it up, it has the book inside. The book too has, it's very tactile, has this hole in it that you put into the machine.
The Mystery of the Blue Train,
Current position.
Chapter 1, The Man with the White Hat.
So what's nice about this machine too is once the book is in the machine, as long as one doesn't take it out, they won't lose their spot. And there's even a sleep function on here with 15-minute increments. Volume you can change, and then the tone and the speed of the voice you can change as well. So it's very useful for those who need that. And then every couple months, participants receive a catalog in the mail. And so it has all the new releases that come out to them. And we help, sometimes we're reading some of the catalog selections to customers who need our assistance with it. They also have a form in here that they can fill out and complete and send back to us here at the library to help get their books for them.
Are the people that read it the same as when you buy a book on tape?
Some are, many are commercial,
It
what's
depends.
called commercial audio, but some are not. So some are recorded books by the National Library Service. It just depends on what they're going to do. But many of the most popular authors are commercial audio.
Over the years, we've kind of seen that transition to more of them being the commercial authors, just because then they are available sooner, which has been great. And Katie usually mentions this when we're giving a longer program, but I promised Mike we would keep this. But they can, if somebody is really able to do this digitally, they can also download the books themselves. So sometimes where one of our residents has a caregiver or somebody that wants to do that and they want to do it that way, they can also download instead of having to order through the mail.
Yeah.
So when it's ordered to the mail, are they ordering it themselves personally, or is it something that they're ordering through the library?
It depends. A lot of times they route them to us. They can call, there's an 800 number. The state library really has downsized in terms of the staff that they have. So it can be really challenging to get a hold of somebody. And a lot of that, is where we've stepped in and taken over more of the we've always had a really strong relationship with that program and have really pushed it for our residents, because a lot of people are eligible for it but don't realize it. And that is one of the synergies that we see from, staffing the senior center, is that we'll often see our customers who are getting to a point where they start telling us, I have macular degeneration, I can't really read the large print even anymore. And then we have an opportunity to share those resources with them and let them know about that. So it really works out that, and we do some of our programming, which I'll kind of segue to that so that I can wrap up on time. I mean, one of the things that's really always nice about doing one of these reports and putting the material together to share with you is that I always get to have a new perspective on our department too, because it forces me to think about what I want to tell you. And, I had a rough idea of the programming that we do, because I do a fair amount of it. But, and it was interesting when we were putting the numbers together to see that we really do provide about 25% of the adult programming that you see at the library in terms of attendance is done by our senior and accessible services staff. And that represents about 30% of our overall adult programs. And one of the things that we were really excited about this year, Mike touched on some of the highlights that we submitted for Inclusion Awareness Month. And, you know, we can't leave without mentioning that a little bit. And I just really want to tell what a fantastic job Katie did this year in coordinating all of the events that happened for inclusion awareness, including the fairy tale playing, because we kind of came up with the plan together. But I was on medical leave when that launched, and Katie worked really closely. We had great collaboration with youth services and in the teen department, especially with Alice Sun. And it was just a really good partnership building program that we did with Northwest Special Recreation Association. And over the 3 years that Katie has been focusing on accessibility and gotten her certification as an ADA coordinator, we have really seen those partnerships grow and develop. And it's really exciting to be able to look to the future next year. And hopefully we'll have a chance to introduce more programming specifically for adults with disabilities. So that kind of wraps up our program for today. Yes.
I just want to say something. You and I over the years have had numerous conversations. And we were in a period of time at this library where this department was looking to be gutted. And thanks for your perseverance and your professionalism, both of you, and staying on board and your leadership and pushing the envelope in this, because it's crucial in our community and it's crucial in our society now more than ever. And I just want to say thank you personally to both of you for the hard work and professionalism and dedication you put into this, because you have completely turned around what I felt for many years was actually almost an embarrassment to us, to something that puts us at the top of the class. So thank you, both of you. I appreciate this.
Well, and we appreciate having an opportunity to provide this kind of service and be in, you know, such a supportive environment. So thanks to everybody here too. Thank you.
Do you, as the census information comes out, is that a question on the census? Like, I'm just curious, like what percentage of Arlington Heights residents?
Well, I was going to provide that information, but because I haven't got the most current census data,
Coming out.
I could tell you this from the last update that I did. You know, we have a much higher per capita number of adults over 50 than in any of our surrounding communities. Skokie is the closest to us, but they're not quite at the number that we are.
We're the fourth oldest, I think.
Yeah. And, you know, we didn't talk about this. Katie and I just recently presented for the Senior Citizen Commission for the village. And, you know, one of the things that they are pursuing is, you know, the age-friendly, you know, creating Arlington Heights as an official designation, age-friendly community. And that's really exciting to see. I mean, if anybody's tried to buy a ranch home in Arlington
Yeah,
Heights
impossible.
recently, they know that this is really a magnet community for older adults. And so again, we appreciate the support, and we know that it's somewhat unique in our library to have the level of support that we have for the services that we're providing. So thank you.
I think it's fantastic what you're doing. You know, the programming you were talking about, it's not all done at the senior center, correct? Because a good portion of it is done here too.
We do, you know, you probably heard of Art with Elaine, Creative Aging. That is a program that I started about 4 years ago. It's transit. Those are kind of two of our interesting success stories from the pandemic. We transitioned Art with Elaine, which was one of our most popular programs here in person, to not a program where we just do the class online, but we now have a video where the video lesson is then supplemented with the kit that we provide. And then we get together, and we had one of the meetups today, and it's really been so fantastic to see people who never tried art before feel such a sense of accomplishment and bonding with each other. It's been a great program, and nobody wants to go back to doing it all in person. So we're doing now kind of a combination of a periodic in-person programs, and we're going to continue to keep it video. They like having the longer period of time to work at their own pace. And it's been exciting. And our other success story is there's an article about it in this month's newsletter, our phone-in program, which just turned out to kind of, sometimes the pandemic was a blessing in disguise, and that let us really connect with our homebound residents that are in the program to do something that, you know, I think has not really been tried effectively before. So we were excited to do that.
It's also just a great example of, you know, working with the village also, because I mean, obviously the senior center is there. It's not there because of the library, but it's there. And the fact that we're there and we're offering these services at the point of contact, I mean, it's fantastic. It's a great collaboration. Yeah, thank you to what Deb said before, you know, thank you both for everything that you've done. It's a fantastic program.
Well, thanks a lot. Yeah. Have a good rest of the meeting. We don't want to take up Mike's probably.
You're good. You're very good. Thank you very much. Okay. Now on to some of the boring stuff, right? Action item 6. What is it? Oh, intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Libraries presents.
Okay, so this is the agreement that was discussed at the November 1st committee of the whole meeting. There were a number of questions at that meeting, which I tried to address in this memo here. First and foremost, the agreement will terminate upon conclusion of the pilot project, and that's in section 6B of the agreement. That limits this agreement to only the pilot project. So in speaking with Kate Hall, the one over at Northbrook, she's the director over there, and has had a big part in making this happen. You know, we're going to see kind of where this is at in 6 months, or after 6 months of the pilot project, and see if, you know, if they're going to transition this to a different you know, organization or something like that. But at that time, then we can reconsider as to what we want to do going forward. Regarding some of the questions about the financials and how the financials will be handled, being that Northbrook is the person that we're engaging with, they have set up a separate fund for this project. All the related finances will be posted publicly on their website monthly. All the transactions from this fund will follow all their same internal controls as the regular library transactions, including internal checks and balances and oversight by the board. And then the ILP fund will also be included in the annual library audit. So Kate said she'd be happy to come and talk to the board about those internal controls if you guys would like to hear more about it, but know that there are the same kind of controls that we will, you know, have here as far as checks and balances, purchase limits, all that. And then regarding having 2 people on the steering committee, Kate is on that steering committee just because she's been so involved with the launch of it. She is bringing somebody else up as a leader, and once someone else is available or up to speed as the leader of that group, she'll be stepping off. There are other subcommittees within the ILP that do have multiple members from different libraries, and that's really just based on what they're bringing to the table and how, you know, they could be utilized in the subcommittee. So this agreement was reviewed by our attorney, and he felt comfortable with it. And I worked with him to add that termination of agreement upon conclusion of the pilot project to it. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. Jennifer's also joined us tonight to answer any questions.
I'd like to move that the Board of Library Trustees approves entering into the intergovernmental agreement. Illinois Libraries present to participate in the 2022 pilot project.
I'll second that.
Are there any more comments or questions from the board? Okay, let's do a roll call on this, please.
Trustee Dalla? Yes. Trustee Meadow?
Yes.
Trustee Rule?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Sonari? Yes. Trustee Suplet?
Aye.
President Fix?
Yes. I think it's going to be a great program to see how it goes over these next 6 months. So I know you've been doing a lot of work on it, Jen. So
Thank you.
good job.
Appreciate it.
Okay, let's move on to action item 7, adoption of revisions to policy 6.001 outreach services.
Okay, so this we also discussed at the November 1st committee of the whole meeting. The only major thing that came out of that was just moving up that sentence that was at the bottom of the original policy, shown on the last page of the memo, up to be included in that second paragraph. So we did change the first sentence of that second paragraph to read, the level of outreach services provided to each entity located outside the village boundaries are determined by the executive director. And then we do list the key factors, which one of them is deliveries, vision, value, and priorities, which was identified in that last sentence as well. So we just also will include the percentage of the Arlington Heights residents regularly enrolled in the client enrolled or a client of the entity, and then opportunities consistent with the library's vision, values, and priorities, benefit to the Arlington Heights Memorial Library or community, and then established relationship or partnership. And Trixie is here tonight to help address any questions that you guys have about this. And this was also reviewed by Eric.
I just now noticed one grammatical error.
What do you got?
Second paragraph. The level of outreach services provided to each entity located outside village boundaries is determined. I'm usually not that picky, it just popped out
No,
just now.
Anything else from the board?
There was a question last time about how Elmhurst handles the 50% threshold. Trixie, do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Sure. I did touch base with the youth services manager at Elmhurst, and they actually recently changed their outreach policy to remove anything related to children. So they have a separate school services policy. And they, just based on their community, they only have one district that they serve, just, you know, based on how the school district is, boundaries are in that area. So they don't haven't really come across where they have many residents that are outside, that any organizations outside of the boundaries that meet that criteria, but they intentionally do not include specifics about percentages or anything like that, so that they have the flexibility to serve.
Any other questions? Okay, do we have a motion, please?
I propose the Board of Library Trustees adopt revisions to policy 6.001 outreach services.
Second,
Second,
do roll call, please.
Trustee Vella? Yes. Trustee Meadow?
yes.
Trustee Rule?
Yes.
Trustee Smart?
Yes.
Trustee Samari?
Yes.
Trustee Suplet?
Aye.
President Sick?
Yes. All right. Very good. Longer, okay, I see we have no new business. Is there any other? Do we have any other? All right. Do we have a motion then to go into closed session, please?
I move to go into closed session in accordance with 5 ILCS 120/2 CI for the purpose of discussing personnel issues.
Second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we will be going into closed session.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Great
Bye,
job.
everybody.
Yeah.
Very informative.
unless you guys okay, just want to. This.
Oh, there's she.
There she is.
You guys good with that?
I cannot believe it's the end of November.
Thanksgiving's next week.
Crazy.
Well,
Right here.
It's still
It's
mid-November.
middle, I know.
Yeah,
it's middle.
I ordered my
Yeah,
turkey.
Don't rush it.
Okay. All right. Right. Okay, we are back into open session for the Board of Library Trustees for Arlington Heights Memorial Library. The date November 16th, 2021. Just real quick, who's here?
John Suplet,
Amy Samari.
Carol Meadow.
Sarah Dalla.
Debbie Smart.
Mike Driscoll.
Greg Zick. And,
Andy Rule.
okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay. Coming out of closed session, we do have two things to discuss and to vote on. One of them is we need a motion for approval of the closed session minutes.
I move approval of the closed session minutes from this evening.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay. All right, the next thing that we're going to discuss here is the salary increase for Executive Director Mike Driscoll. Mike, first of all, thank you very much for the job that you've done over the past year. It's been a fantastic job, going through some really tough experiences, obviously, with getting the Makerspace going and all the other things doing. So you do have the board, I hope saying that, we thank you for everything that you've done. In light of that, we need a motion to approve a 6.8% increase for Executive Director Mike Driscoll.
I'll move that we vote to approve a 6.8% salary increase inclusive of the 5.9% COLA to Mike Driscoll, reflecting his excellent performance over this past fiscal year.
I second.
Okay, can we do a roll call, please?
Trustee Gala? Yes. Trustee Meadow?
Yes.
Trustee Rule? Trustee
Sorry. Yes.
Smart?
Yes.
Trustee Samari?
Yes.
Trustee Suplet?
Yes.
President Zick?
Yes. Thank you very much again, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, I think all we need now is a motion
I move
for
we
adjournment. Second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are done.
Let's turn these back in, so,
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh, you want back?
unless you need it for work.
Yeah, you need to go.
Hang on.
Did I stop
I don't want
this?
that hanging around. Good job, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
See you later.
Happy Thanksgiving.